And then, you know, everybody applauds and the show ends. And John says, okay, let's keep you in the studio for a few more minutes. We are going to check and make sure everything we did stuck to the tape, and then we'll let you go. So does anybody have any questions before we go? And somebody probably raised their, I say probably because I don't remember any of this. Somebody probably raised their hand, and at that moment, I turned to one of my fellow actors, Bob. I turned to Bob and I whispered to him, boy, I don't feel you. And then I kind of stumbled and then just hit the floor. And the audience laughed. Oh, yeah, oh, more than that, they laughed. And they thought, oh, this is a callback. Oh, I wonder if they're going to bring on a gurney. That was a good stunt fall. She must be trained. She didn't even flinch when she hit the floor. Well, my fellow castmates knew that I had not planned this, and they wondered what the heck was going on. And John kind of turned around, wondering what was going on behind him. And he came and he knelt down and he looked at me, and then he got really frightened because he knew right away, I am not that good an actress. I'm pretty good. I really am pretty good. But this, Meryl Streep would not be able to do this one. I was turning grayish blue. My eyes rolled back in my head. And then this sound came out of me like something from The Exorcist. I made this. And he just thought, ugh. And he stood up and he didn't want to say, is there a doctor in the house? Because people couldn't see me. He saw me. But he thought, oh, they'll just think we're carrying on the ERR. He went, something is seriously medically wrong with Tracey. Does anybody here have medical training? And people are still thinking they're being punked, and they're looking around like, whatever. Yeah, huh? And he went, no, I am. I'm serious. And a young guy at the very back of the audience stood up, and he went, I'm a volunteer firefighter. She could be having heart problems. And it was like, what? You know, and he said, well, can you come down? So this guy, he is my angel on earth. His name is Glenn McClellan. At the time, he was, I think, all of 23 or 24. Young Mormon guy, recently married, first baby on the way. He's running down, he gets on the floor, he puts his fingers to my carotid artery. Everybody's very quiet at this point, and he just waits. Call 911, shoves me over on my back and begins CPR. Now, the reason I am here today, and I can tell you the story, is because I got such rapid, vigorous bystander CPR. So that is, if you take nothing away, other than this, from this, is if you have not been trained in CPR, because you think, well, we live in Seattle and we've got a really great medic response, which we do, and it's why I'm alive. But the reason I have a brain is because somebody was willing to step forward and do bystander CPR. So it was probably 6 minutes before the first team was able to actually get in the door, take over from Glenn, which they did. And at that point, these were firefighters. And they assessed me, and they had an AED. You know, at this time, this is 1995. We didn't have AEDs available for public use. So they came in, and they did my first 2 defibrillator shocks. The paramedic team, Medic 1, showed up right behind them, and they are trained for a little bit more extensive emergency care. They intubated me, and they're the ones that started giving me some cardiac drugs. They did my next 4 shocks. So I was defibrillated 6 times over a course of almost 20 minutes when I was not having my own heartbeat before finally, between everything they were doing for me, my heart began to beat on its own. So I don't know where it was in this period of that 20 minutes that I had my NDE. Could have been right at the beginning before I even had oxygen. It could have been all during. Who knows? But the fact is, my heart eventually did start beating on its own. They put me in the Medic 1 van. They took me to Harborview. By this time, the audience had been ushered out while all this was going on. And of course, what a horrible thing. You come to a comedy show and you watch a woman drop dead. So I'm very, very grateful that I live in Seattle. I'm very grateful that that night, this happened to me when it happened to me instead of a half an hour later, maybe driving home, when I would have passed out, possibly killed other people on the way in my car. And chances are not that great that I would have come back with my full brain function. But the first people who were taking care of me were the Harborview intensive care cardiac nurses. And this one nurse came up, and she said, "You look so much better than the last time I saw you." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I should remember you." And she said, "Oh, honey, you were fighting to live so hard we had to tie you down." So I had people who were in my corner taking really good care of me. And what I heard from both her, my former housemate, and my family, who finally got up to visit, was that all that I would say in those loops, those first few days, was, "Where's Mark?" Over and over. "Well, I was in a hall with Mark. Where is Mark?" Well, the nurses, they've heard everything, of course. And they just knew to reassure me, "I'm sure you were with Mark, and you're with us now. We're really glad you're with us now." So I take from that great peace and comfort that when we do transition, that it's a place of people who, either souls, beings, pets, somebody is there that we connect with, that is happy to see us and is there to make that transition possible. Or, in my case, to say, "Hey, I'm not quite sure whether it's your time to be here. So I'm here to meet you so that you're not alone, and let's see what happens." And as it turned out, I wasn't supposed to be with him in that hall longer. I was supposed to come back. So I would say that I've opened myself more to spiritual possibility than I was thinking about before it happened. And I haven't made any decisions, but I'm very much, kind of like the X-Files, I want to believe. I choose to believe. I don't know what's really out there, but I'm much more open spiritually. My heart is much more open to hope.